are not interested in building a reality for themselves. We want to depend on them. We want to depend on them and then get mad when we get mistreated in a system that doesn't want us. The whole public school thing. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And one of the reasons the public school situation is so ridiculous, what's about to happen next Friday? What's about to happen 7 days from today? Black folk are going shopping for Black Friday.
Black Friday, yeah.
They going shopping for Black Friday. 7 days from now, we will be out, conscious community included. Conscious community. 7 days from now, we will be out spending billions of dollars for useless Christmas gifts. Black Friday is an economic suicide day for Black America. It is an economic suicide day for Black America. The stores are stocking up. Walmart is stocking up. Toys R Us is stocking up. Sears is stocking up. Foot Locker is stocking up. Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Ralph Lauren, because in 7 days from today, Negroes are going to lose their mind. They're going to spend in 2 weeks half of the income they earned. They're going to spend in 2 weeks half of the income that they earned the entire year. There is no worse a day in Black. That has to be one of the most evil days of the year. Because you know what we're doing? We're literally liquidating our assets. We're liquidating our assets in order to participate in our enemy's holiday season. We are liquidating our assets in order to participate in our enemy's holiday season. Who does that? Who does that? Sneakers, computers, jeans, book bags, bikes, alcohol, liquor. I mean, look at all the money we spend to go partying on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is almost as bad as Christmas. New Year's Eve is almost as bad as Christmas is with the spending. And you know what? We're going to spend more than we did last year. I bet you. 2016, what we spent? $2 billion on Nikes, $4 billion on alcohol, $600 million on McDonald's, $9 billion on perm. I bet you we spend more. We're going to spend more because we keep on going up every year. We keep on going up. And when the minimum wage go up, Negro spending go up. So this whole, and it's sad because I only got 700 grand. And thanks to everybody who donate, but I only got 700 grand. And then check this out. I get crucified. Check this out. I get crucified because I haven't spent it yet. Look at that. I'm getting crucified because I did not liquidate the money. So these Negroes is telling me, spend it. Because if you don't spend it, they're going to say you stole it. But the money is in the bank. But they're telling me if you don't liquidate the people's money immediately, they're going to think you stole it. That's how bad it is. You're supposed to spend everything you get, or people going to look at you sideways. But we will question Dr. Umar on $700 that's sitting in an account. He got to answer questions every interview about money. He ain't been a withdrawal on that money yet. I ain't touched it for nothing. All the money I use to fly around and get lawyers to do this and put in bids, that comes out of the money I make at the lectures and the money I make as a certified school psychologist. God bless me enough to be in a career path where I don't have to steal from my people in order to pay my bills. You see, but the problem is so many people, see, here's the issue. The reason they can't believe I didn't steal is because they would have stole. So you got to evaluate people from the consciousness and the mindset that they're bringing to the situation. They're saying if I had $700,000 that I didn't have to account for, I would have spent it. They would have. So they're looking at me like, there's no way he ain't spent some of that. You trying to tell me he ain't spent none of that? And you know what's sad? When we get to a point where when somebody doesn't steal, We think they stole just by the fact of him saying he never took nothing from it. He must have took something from it. That's how horrible we are. But here's the issue. Have we asked any of our national black leaders what have they done with the money we've been giving them for generations? You got leaders who've been out here for generations, ain't never been asked to give an account. Have we asked the NAACP what they done with our donations? The Urban League? Have we asked TD Jakes and Creflo Dollar? Have we asked all the churches in our community? Have we asked Nike? Black people have a particular liking for Nike and Mercedes-Benz that supersedes our liking for any other product in those markets. We ain't went to Mercedes-Benz yet and say, how are you using some of the money I've given you to help black folk? We ain't went to Nike yet and said, we spend more money on your Air Jordans than anybody else. What are you doing to reinvest some of that money? All the money we didn't spend on cigarettes, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, we ain't asked nobody nothing. But I got Negroes telling me, we need to see your curriculum. We want the curriculum. Negro can't even spell the word. We want the curriculum. But guess what? They child been in public school for 12 years. They never even seen the curriculum for 12 years. Child been in special ed 4 years, never even read the IEP. Look at this now. Look at this. They said, we want to see your business plan. Negro never been to a school board meeting in 12 years. Never been to a school board meeting in 12 years and telling me he need to see my business plan. This is how sick, and I'm going to tell you why. Here's the thing. The thing that people love me for is the thing other people hate me for. And that is being unapologetically honest about the black situation. People don't like that because I'm telling them that the only way you fix this is by using the money in your pocket, not voting. I'm going to tell you right now, voting doesn't even begin to compare with spending when it comes to changing. I'm going to say it one more time. Voting doesn't even begin to compare with spending when it comes to empowering a community. You can't name a single black community in world history anywhere on earth that was empowered because they voted for somebody. We voted for Obama for 8 years. Obama didn't empower anything. But the reason black folks keep on believing that they can vote their way out of oppression is because they don't want to spend their way out of oppression. That's all. See, it's not that the politicians are lying to us. They are lying. But we choose to believe the lie because we don't want to accept the alternative. The alternative to believing that voting will free you is knowing you have to work your way out with your own black dollar. You don't want to hear that. Don't no black folks in America want to be told, guess what? Nothing changes until your spending habits change. We don't want to hear that. Hell no. And because of that, we're the only people who have never had to be accountable to the collective for how they spend their money. Even churches make you accountable. You got churches out here telling you what you're going to pay. Listen, there's churches out here, and I know a lot of them. I even spoke at some. They want to see your tax return before you join. Oh, yes. Go to TD Jakes. Go to Creflo Dollar. Go to any of these mega churches. You don't just walk in there and say, where's the application? Whoa, time out, family. Yeah, we're going to get our Jesus on in a minute. But before we get our Jesus on, we got to get the money right. I need your tax return. And they will look at your tax return and tell you what you will pay to belong. And that's exactly what black folks need to start doing. And that's one of the reasons I'm going to start the Team Pan-African government. So we can have people who are willing to submit to African leadership and accountability. Because you're not going to change this without leadership. That's another problem we got. Black folk keep talking about, we don't need no leaders. All of us just need to be leaders. You know where that comes from? That comes from black folks not wanting to be accountable to the collective. You ain't never heard no Chinese say, we don't need no leaders. You ain't never heard no Jews say, we don't need no leaders. When the last time you see an East Indian or Mexican say, we don't need no, everybody has leaders. You don't get nowhere without, you organize through the leadership. But black folks don't want to hear that because we don't want another black person telling us, look, bruh, you ain't paying enough for this struggle. So them sneakers, you need to take them, run them back and bring us that $100 for them Nikes, fam, because you running short. That's how we need to be. That's how we need to be. Accountability. And guess what? If people pay to build something, they damn sure ain't looking to tear it down. If people pay to build it, they're not looking to tear it down. The reason why we're so willing to destroy anything black is because we ain't put nothing into it. We ain't put nothing into it. So we are willing to tear it down. And then guess what? After we spend all that Christmas money, Thanksgiving, which you shouldn't even be, Thanksgiving, don't get me wrong. I understand that for Thanksgiving, it's a time when a lot of us are able to spend time with family. Family is important. I respect that. Okay? And I'm not going to call people coonish for that Thanksgiving dinner because I know it can be a strategy to bring the family together. I understand that and I respect that. But at the same time, why can't we create a holiday of our own, a holy day of our own, where we fraternize and socialize in fellowship with our family without doing it with the backdrop of a genocide celebration? Thanksgiving was a genocide. If you, who gets together and says, let's have a feast over the enslavement of African people? Let's have a feast over the extermination of Africa. Let's have a feast over African colonization. But we want to have a feast to celebrate a period in the history of this country where Native Africans and Native Americans were exterminated, with the Thanksgiving dinner being used as a ploy to get them to drop their guard and they poison all the food. Thanksgiving was the prelude to the extermination of those indigenous persons in this land. See, here's the issue, my queen. We do not want out of the empire. And we will not admit it. That's why with the Team Pan-African government, that's for people who want out of the empire, not people who want in. See, black people want to go be Hotep during Black History Month. They want to Hotep during Kwanzaa, but they only want to be part-time revolutionaries, but full-time coons. Part-time revolutionary, full-time coon. How the hell are we going to fix this situation when we want to be part-time revolutionary, full-time coon? And that's why that movie Get Out was so powerful. That's why Get Out was so powerful, because Get Out was about getting out the empire. Get out. And when you see the movie War for the Planet of the Apes, one of the interesting things about the symbolism in War for the Planet of the Apes, because I watched that in my flight over here from Detroit yesterday, towards the end of the movie, when they finally got out the system, remember when the apes finally freed themselves from the concentration camp, the system that oppressed them was destroyed by another system. Did you see that?
Yeah.
The minute they got out, the system got attacked and destroyed. I believe that symbolized China coming to the point where it's about to take over, because it pretty much has Africa. And I'm going to tell you right now, Zimbabwe, the situation that just happened in Zimbabwe with the destabilization of Robert Mugabe, one of the reasons that the CIA and FBI deposed Mugabe, one of the reasons the CIA and FBI deposed Mugabe by financing some egotistical black militaristic leadership, as they do all over Africa. You don't do what the FBI and the CIA does to get rid of you. You know why they did that? Because Mugabe just signed a deal with the Chinese to come in and provide some of the services that the former colonizing governments did not want to provide. Zimbabwe was slated to introduce Mandarin, the same language that's being introduced in South Africa. They were scheduled to introduce Mandarin this upcoming school year. He had just allowed the Chinese to come in and build certain things to enhance the infrastructure of Harare. He just did this within the past couple months. So the CIA and the FBI said, oh, hell no. We can't let the Chinese have another country. We can't let the Chinese have another country. So you know what they did? They called up the CIA. What egotistical Negro leader in Zimbabwe can we finance and arm to depose Mugabe? That was nothing more than the white man snatching back another country before the Chinese get it. That's one of the reasons why they want to get rid of Jacob Zuma in South Africa. Why do they want to get rid of Jacob Zuma? Don't get me wrong. Jacob Zuma got a lot of skeletons in his closet. Don't get me wrong at all. I am not a Jacob Zuma fan, but I do know that Jacob Zuma joined BRICS. Okay. He got out of the British financial situation. He started dealing with China. He started dealing with Cuba. He started dealing with India. He turned his back on the Queen. When Jacob Zuma turned his back on the Queen, that's when all the negative press start coming out about him. They been knew that stuff. But you can break the law. You can kill people. You can do whatever you want except go against white supremacy. Look at our brother Colin Kaepernick.
That's right.
Look at Colin Kaepernick. He took a knee. They destroyed his life for taking a knee. But you got men in the NFL who murdered people. Double murders. Double murder and still playing football. Raping women, still playing football. Beating their wives, still playing football. Hit and run car accidents, still playing football. But because Colin Kaepernick take a knee, his career get destroyed. But you can kill people in play. You can beat up women in play. You can rape women in play. You can do hit and runs and still keep your job. But as long as you don't disrespect white power. See, I'm going to take it right on back. As long as you don't disrespect white power. And this is why we need to understand that we don't have any friends. Because everybody wants to join forces with black folk until you say, what are we going to do about white supremacy? And the minute you say that, guess what? The feminists are going to disappear. The minute you say that, the LBGT going to disappear. The minute you say that, your Latino brothers and sisters going to disappear. They will fight for you to eliminate violence. They will fight against poverty. They will fight for better schools. They will fight against police brutality. But the minute you say, what are we going to do to systematically eliminate racism in the lives of African Americans, everybody becomes autistic, their mouth get quiet, and they keep on walking. Because the one thing that we need to do, nobody is willing to help us. The one thing we must do, we will get no help from nobody but each other. And this is why, as Stokely Carmichael Kwame Ture said, we have to make sure we stay focused on our primary opponents. We can't allow the Negro trolls to keep on distracting us from our work. We cannot let the Hate Umar campaign keep on stay focused. Because guess what? No matter how much those Negroes try to destroy me, no matter how much your enemies try to destroy you, they are limited in what they can do because they don't have any institutional power behind them. All they have is attitude, emotions. That's it. If you don't like me, the only thing you got is attitude and emotions. That's it. You ain't got no system you can put again. You can't put the police on me. You can't put the National Defense Authority on me. The NSA, National Security Administration. You ain't got no power. You have emotions and energy. So another black man and another black woman are never our worst enemy. They are never our worst enemy. Listen, you didn't invent AIDS. You don't control miseducation. You don't build the jails. You don't run the economy. You don't control the criminal justice. You don't control none of the music houses. You don't run a single publishing house in New York. You don't own a single theater in Hollywood. So how is it that we became our own worst enemy when you control none of the institutions that oppress you? Who told black folks that we were our own worst enemy when we don't control? You know who told you that? The bourgeoisie. Your politicians told you that. Your preachers told you that. Your black businessmen told you that. Your thirsty, greedy, money-loving community not-for-profit organizations told you that. Your academic scholars told you that. And you know why they told you that? Because they do not want to take on racism for your benefit. They do not. So instead of you holding them responsible for not fighting the system, they deflect the attention away from the power structure onto everyday black folks. They love to do it. Call up Cornel West and Michael Eric Dyson. No disrespect to those brothers, but call them up and say, what are you guys doing? Y'all got all this academic knowledge, but what are you doing to fight the system for me? No answer. Call up your state rep and your U.S. rep and say, what are you doing to fight the system for me? No answer. Call up Creflo Dollar and TD Jakes and say, what are you doing to fight the system for me? Call up all your community-based, we're saving mothers, we're saving fathers, we're fighting against crime, we're fighting against police brutality with the white man's money. Call all them up and say, what are you doing to systematically change things for me? No answer. It is the illusion of inclusion multiplied by the hypocrisy of power. They have black people thinking we're moving somewhere when in fact we haven't moved anywhere. I said they got black people thinking we moved somewhere when in fact we haven't moved anywhere. In fact, one of the reasons the black bourgeoisie can't stand me so much is because I keep on highlighting the fact that Barack Obama was not a blessing. Oh, they hate me for doing that.
Right.
They hate me for doing that. How dare you say that? He's the first. How dare... Okay, give me one practical thing he did just for us. Give me one practical thing he did just for us. Go ahead, Queen.
I want to check right there because when people will talk about Obama and me listening to you, hearing the other side of us, it made me think, that's Obama right. So then I can bring it up in conversation. I'm not family, they're so into the church. So it's just like, but when I bring it up, I said, what did he actually do for black folks? More than, the LGBT community, the Hispanics. But what did he do for us?
Barack Obama was a psychological heroin shot. You know how a heroin addict, they tie the rubber band around their arm? They know that the heroin ain't going to change nothing. It just make them feel better. Crack ain't going to change nothing. It just make you feel better. PCP ain't going. So they tie the rubber band around the arm and they get the syringe ready with the heroin in it. Okay. And they know that while I'm high, nothing's getting better for me, but it's going to make me feel like it is. And then once it wears off, I'm going to crash and I'm going to be right back to where I'm at. That's what Obama is. He was an 8-year heroin shot. And so they shot Obama into the arm of black America and we got high and we was comatose for a minute and we was feeling so good for 8 years. And then all of a sudden, Donald Trump put another wrap around your arm and he hit a syringe. Only difference between the Obama shot and the Trump shot was Trump gave you a reality shot. Trump said, boom.
Right.
And now we are upset and hurt and disappointed because we were so high on emotionalism from Obama that when Trump gave us the reality shot, it hurt us. And guess what? Trump's reality shot isn't worse than George Bush's. It ain't worse than Daddy Bush's. It ain't worse than Ronald Reagan's. It ain't worse than Nixon. The only reason why the Trump shot hurt black people more is because we thought that the Obama shot was a permanent solution. And we didn't know that it was a temporary high.
High, right. But what do you say to black folks when they challenge you and question you? And it's not coming from me because it's been asked by me. well, he can't get in office and do everything for black people.
I agree.
He has to make it seem
I
like,
agree.
you know.
I agree. Barack Obama.
Do you think he intentionally do things? I mean, did not do things, or
Listen.
is it that he wants to do more, but he knows being in the hand of white supremacy, I gotta make it seem like it's for everybody and not just black people. Like
I
you
think.
black people questions.
I think that we were putting the cart before the horse. When people say Obama couldn't do everything for black people, or he had to be very strategic and stay low key in helping black people,
right?
That analysis comes with the assumption that Obama cares about black people. Let me say that again. When they say he couldn't do everything, or that he had to stay low key, that's coming with the assumption that he cared. For the people who endorse that position, I would like to know, upon what basis of evidence did we conclude that Obama cared about black folks? I ain't got an answer to that one yet. Okay, so that's number one. Now let's deal with number two. You can't do everything for anybody. No constituency is totally served by any president of the United States except the 1% rich. They always get what they want because they control the money that controls the system. See, let me say this, not to digress. The United States government is a bank masquerading as a country. Let me say that one more time. The United States government is a mega bank masquerading as a country. It's masquerading as a sovereign nation. This is a corporation. It is not a nation. It is a corporation. And the president is simply the CEO. And one thing we know about the CEO is what? They don't control nothing. The CEO is controlled by a board of directors. And the president of the United States is controlled by a board of directors, including such names as Goldman Sachs, okay, the Trilateral Commission, the Federal Reserve. The president is a CEO of the white racist Bank of America. That's all. White racist Bank of America. But guess what? Even a CEO, if he really wants to help somebody, can help somebody. See, Obama, in my opinion, could have done one of three things and chose to do none of them. Number one, he could have done something of significance in the miseducation machine. Obama could have had a president's initiative on black male teachers. He could have got more black men emergency certified. This ain't even revolutionary, but it would have helped us. He could have got more black principals in emergency certified. This ain't revolutionary, but it could have helped us. That's number two. Okay. He could have diverted some of the federal money that's spent on prisons to create jobs specifically in the inner city for black males. That ain't revolutionary, but it could have helped us. He didn't do that at all. Barack Obama did nothing to loosen the white racist trade union hold on the construction business in the construction industry. He could have done something about jobs. He did nothing. Okay, so you got jobs. And third, with the criminal justice, he did a little something. He let some people out of jail. That was cute, but I'm not convinced. And I'm going to tell you why, Queen.
Right.
You have the right to create a law. Barack Obama could have issued an executive order that could have changed the face of crime or incarceration. Instead, all he did was let a couple people out. You know what that's like? That's like you and me on a slave plantation. It's 1 million slaves on this plantation. Barack Obama is the president. He don't do nothing about the slavery, but he gonna come and let 100 of us out. It's 1 million of us in the slave plantation, but he gonna come and let 100 of us out, and we supposed to celebrate him for letting 100 of us out when he didn't do nothing to change the system itself. Hell to the no. And the third thing that Barack Hussein Obama could have done, Is Barack Hussein Obama? This is the one thing. If you say, Doc, what's the one thing you would have liked him to have? One thing. Order the Justice Department to embark on a national, systematic investigation into the unarmed, defenseless murder of black people by police. And based on the findings of that institution, we're going to direct the Justice Department to create laws that crack down on police who kill defenseless black folks. And by the way, I did a post just before this live feed where it said that the 196th black man was killed by the police this year. Almost 200 black men. Genocide. That's 200 black men. I didn't even know the number was that high. I did not know 200 black men had been killed by police this year. And do you know what that sounds like? That sounds awfully close to the numbers of lynchings in the last century. It sounds just like the lynching numbers that Queen Mother ancestor Ida B. Wells used to publish in her newspaper, where one black man was lynched, gang lynched, burned, and castrated by a white mob every day in America during the 1800s. And during the early 1900s, now we in the 21st century, and you still got lynching, but they not using the noose no more. They're using the gun. And see, when people say that black people have made progress in America, my first question is, do you have any more control over your life today? My first question, because we coming up on 400 years. We come on February 14th, we will be celebrating the 200th birthday of Frederick Douglass. Frederick Douglass turns 200 on February 14th of this year. Not no damn Valentine's Day, Frederick Douglass Day. He turns 200. But my question is, are we in any more control over our life today than we were in slavery? And we all know the answer to that. We all know the answer to that. See, the things that matter, we've went nowhere. The things that don't matter, we've went everywhere. So, for example, we've had a black president. Didn't matter. We have black athletes. Don't matter. Serena and Venus, greatest female tennis players of all time, but one of them got a baby with a white boy. Don't matter. All the stuff. Condoleezza Rice was the first black female Secretary of State. Colin Powell, first black male Secretary of State. Who the coon they got in there now? Ben Carson, first black Secretary of HUD, Housing and Urban Development. Okay, straight coon. Don't matter. See, the stuff that superficial progress is the only thing they talk about with us. They never get down to the material. It's always superficial. You never hear about the wealth. When the last time you seen Don Lemon or Wolf Blitzer talk about black control of America's wealth? Where that conversation at? I ain't heard that conversation yet. Why we ain't had a conversation on what percentage of banks are owned and controlled by black folks? See, let me tell you why I'm mad at the integrationists. I'm not mad at the integrationist for being an integrationist. I'm not mad at him for not knowing that you'll never be accepted. I'm not mad at him for that. I'm mad at him for not fighting the integrationist struggle on all fronts. Listen, if I was an integrationist, and I believe we can all live together equally, guess what I'm going to be fighting for? I want my people to own. If we are 18% of the country, I want 18% of the wealth. That would be my fight as an integrationist. I'm not fighting for no more laws. I don't want no damn laws. I don't want another law. No more laws. I don't want another black president. I don't want another black governor. I don't want another black mayor. I don't want another black council person. You know what I want? I want some black power. Keep your votes, keep your presidents, keep your mayors. I want power. When are we going to get a percentage of the banks? When are we going to get a percentage of the corporations? When are we going to get a percentage of the resources? Who controlling the oil in America? We get some of that. Who control the gold in America? We want some of that. Who controlling the silver? We want some of that. Who got the import-export we want some of that. How many black-owned hospitals in America? None. Y'all say we Americans too? Guess what? Some of those hospitals were built with federal money. So either the government gonna give us some of them hospitals, totally controlled by black folks, or the government gonna build some of them hospitals. But that's not what Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton talking about. They're talking about making sure you can become the CEO of Coca-Cola. They want to make sure you can become the CEO of Levi's. They want to make sure more black people are on reality shows on television. They want to make sure enough of us get nominated at the Grammys. They want to make sure we don't get overlooked at the American Music Awards. I don't care about no superficial crap. Part of our problem is the leadership. The leadership is not visionary enough to know where to take us. Now, I'm not the greatest thinker in Black America, not at all. But I have enough vision to know that I'm not going to waste my life. I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to die for stuff that is superficial. If I got to go to jail or lose my life, it must be something that is essential. We can't do without it. If we can do without it, it's not essential. And then we got to separate the things that we need to fight for from the things we need to build ourselves. We're fighting for some stuff that we need to build ourselves. When Jada Pinkett went off last year because no black person got nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars or whatever that is, that's not a worthy fight. Yeah. Because as far as I'm concerned, no black actor should be going to the damn Oscars. They should have their own celebration. But we don't value anything black. That's not a fight worth fighting. I'm going to tell you another fight that ain't worth fighting. But we got to fight it because black folks ain't ready to put their money where it belongs. And that fight is the fight against public school. Yes, I have the National Independent Black Parent Association. Yes, it is important. And it's a shame that we even need to have a National Independent Black Parent Association. Why? Because Philadelphia about to spend $3 billion on Christmas gifts. I'm in Los Angeles right now, Long Beach, but still Los Angeles area. Black people in Los Angeles going to spend $5 billion on Christmas. Chicago and New York, I don't even want to give you those numbers. So why we got to fight when we should be building? We should be building. The other thing we need our own community system. They're not going to let us replace the police, but black people need black people they can call on to solve domestic disputes. Because when you call the white man, he done already showed us he killing everybody. How you going to call the police for help and he killed a person that you needed help for? I mean, come on. Come on. I just saw another video the other day. They murdered a mentally ill black woman or black man or something like that. In the police precinct. What are we calling them for? Wow. They are not for you. They are an extension of the extermination militia. That's all they are. Not the police. Extermination militia. Inner city extermination militia. That's all they are. They need to take that protect and serve off. Protect and serve who? Because they're not protecting and serving us. But let me say this, and then I'm going to let you go, Queen, because I know I done kept you on here for a while, and I'm going to open the line back up. Here's the essential problem. At the end of the day, black people value things over lives. The reason Shaquille O'Neal and Deion Sanders and Jalen Rose and Stephen A. Smith and Ray Lewis, the reason they sided with the power structure against Colin Kaepernick and the entire black community is because they value being on them talk shows more than they value your life. Right. See, Al Sharpton, the reason he ain't been going as hard as he needed to go, don't get me wrong, he done a couple things, superficial things. He ain't done nothing essential, but he done some superficial things because he valued the relationship. that he has with the white power structure over you. The reason Barack Obama didn't push no buttons for black folks, but pushed all the buttons for everybody else, he don't value your life. And the reason we as everyday black folks, ain't fighting more, I care about my Mercedes. My Mercedes Benz is worth more than the life of all black boys put together. My house in the suburbs is more important than protecting black women from police brutality. Did you see that one video, sister? This happened like 2 years ago, but it went viral. A cop pulled a black woman over on the side of the road. He jumped on top of her. She was on her back. He pinned her arms down with his knees. Somebody taped this. The person who taped should have helped. And he put his hand inside of her pocketbook. And he punched this black woman in the face over and over again on the highway. Who saw that? It's on YouTube. And guess what happened? Because I followed it. I followed the case because I'm like, he got to lose his job. This man brutally beat this black woman. And he put his hand in the pocketbook so he wouldn't leave no marks. You know what they gave him? He got probation. He kept his job. And he got probation for brutally attacking a black woman. But, what's my brother, the running back for Adrian Peterson? They took Adrian Peterson's career, tried to take Adrian Peterson's career from him for spanking his son on the behind. Now look at this. We going to take your career for spanking your son, but we are locking up black men by the millions and keeping them in jail for years, but we going to lock you up for spanking your son so he don't go to jail. We're going to take Colin Kaepernick's career for taking a knee. But we're going to let killers go back to the NFL and play on the team. We're going to take Michael Vick's career for fighting dogs. We're going to take his career for fighting dogs. But we will give police their jobs back after they didn't kill black folk. That man who killed Philando Castile in St. Paul, Minnesota, shot that man with his daughter in the back seat. Shot that man with his daughter in the back seat. And then on the recording, we heard the daughter ask Mommy, or is he going to shoot us too? Mommy, is he going to shoot us too? And we about to go out here on Friday. We're about to go out here on Friday and empower the system even more. We're about to buy gifts from the same corporations that put up the money for George Zimmerman. We're about to buy gifts from the same corporations that put up the money for the man who shot Michael Brown. We're about to go to the corporations that put up the money to pay for these police officers' defense in court. We're about to go buy money. We're about to go spend money with corporations. Where do you think the politicians get the money from to pass these laws that cripple black folk? The corporations. And then guess what we're going to do? After we give Nike and Mercedes and Louis Vuitton and Timberland and Gucci and Fendi, Walmart and Sears and the Chinese corner store, once we give them all this money, right? Check this out. Okay. So Christmas is December 25th. Then we're going to party for New Year's Day, right? 2 weeks later, check this out. 2 weeks later, we're going to celebrate Dr. King's birthday. Look at this. Look at this. This is what coons do. This is what coons do. We're going to spend our money to empower the very system that Dr. King fought to change. And then we're going to go into church on Dr. King's birthday and honor him after we done gave all the... Now, mind you, this is a man who led one of the most successful boycotts against a white corporation in American history. This is the man who led one of the most successful boycotts against a white corporation in American history, encouraging and motivating black folks to keep their money in their pocket. That's what King represented. So we're going to give all our money. In other words, we're going to do exactly what he would have told us not to. We're going to do exactly what Dr. King told us not to. And then 2 weeks later, we're going to celebrate Dr. King. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Before we, Dr. I just want you to know I sent out a text to my family, my siblings.
Gotcha.
And donate for the school, because I saw you post about January need to be strong. So
yes, we trying to get that extra 300,000. Go ahead, Queen.
Yeah, my brother-in-law, he works for a really big company called Inspire. It's a sanitary napkin with females, but he's going to donate. But I want to see if he can get his company to donate, because it's $1 million company. So I want to see if they can donate to it, and just not out of his pocket. So I'm gonna try to see if they can do that as well, the company. And if I feel like if one of the maybe the CEOs somebody wants to talk to you about it, I'll just send you a text to let you know. But I'm just trying to shoot for that to get some real big coins. My family gonna do our part, but get some big money.
Gotcha. So, appreciate that. Thanks a lot, Queen.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
You stay safe.
You too, babe.
And I'm still holding you to February.
Oh,
Okay?
definitely. We on it. I'm gonna give you a date soon. We on it.
Okay.
Okay,
all right.
babe. All right. Before I take the next question, you know what we need to do for Christmas? We need to find a non-violence, okay? We love our people. Non-dangerous. We don't want to put nobody in any harm's way. But we need to find a way where we can expose and anger black people a little bit who out here committing financial treason against their community. So I don't know if we all need to get some soap and go around to all the stores and all the malls and write corporate coon on people's windshields. But we need to find something slick and cute, non-dangerous, non-violent, to piss off black folks who want to keep on supporting and empowering the white power structure. I don't know what that thing is yet, but we got to finish it out, because they got to know that it was done because you committing treason against the community. I don't know if we need to make a sticker. Maybe we need to make a sticker and stick it right on the front of their windshield. But we need to do something. You have just committed financial treason against the black community. You have been branded a corporate coon for spending your money with people who don't like us. We got to find something to do. Now, see, in Chicago, they block the doors, but you can't legally block the doors, though. You can protest, but you can't legally block the doors. We don't want nobody to get locked up. I need you to go home to your children, because Lord knows if you don't go home to them, they're going to put them in that system, and we don't want the children in that system. But we need to find, so I want y'all to brainstorm that, meditate on that, do a deep meditation. What's something we can do powerfully, a nationwide movement to expose Negroes who think it's okay to participate in the economic molestation of their community. Now, before I go back to the phone, I was asked a question, and I want to answer this. Everybody wants to know whether or not I think it's okay to take their children to see Black Panther when it comes out in February. What is Dr. Umar Johnson's opinion on the Black Panther Marvel movie? Okay, what is Dr. Johnson's opinion? Okay, I'm going to give you my Garvey opinion, and I'm going to give you my psychological opinion, and they will support each other. My Garvey opinion, I don't care if the writers are black. I don't care if the actors are black. I don't care if it has a Hotep storyline. I do not care. From the Garvey perspective, I'm looking at economics. Who owns the movie? What studio controls the movie? Who's going to make the most money off the movie? And we all know the question for that. Black Panther is going to be a Hollywood mega payday. Black kids and white kids can't wait to see it. We're going to lose economically because we're not getting a cut of that money. We're going to lose economically because we are not going to get a cut of that money. So from the Garvey perspective, economically, it's a failure. Hands down, economically, it's a failure. You don't benefit from it. Now let's go to the psychology. Let's go to the psychologically, you should take your children after you have watched it first. Because we have to, don't let us not make the assumption. Let us not make the assumption that just because it looks to be reaffirming to the African self-esteem and image, until we seen that movie, we don't know what agenda they pushing. Hell, the brother might fall in love with a white girl at the last minute. You don't know what the agenda is. So, if you go to the movie and the agenda is positive, let your children see it. Why? Because we ain't trying to make no movies for them ourselves. That's why. It's sad that we need Hollywood to make movies for black children's self-esteem. But until black folks start making movies for black children's self-esteem, we got to take them. So yes, take them. After you've checked it out, take them to see it. Yes. Yes. Because our children need to see a dosage of some pure alpha manhood and some pure black feminine strength, because they ain't seen none in a long time. So if this movie does that, take them to see it. We cannot let our children suffer psychologically because of our economic weaknesses. We cannot let our children suffer psychologically because of our economic weaknesses. So go ahead and take them. Take them. Okay? That's my point. Y'all not going to do it. Black folks, we are still suffering the psychological residuals of slavery. Yes, you are. Hell, it's like they took the chains off last night. That's how messed up we is. I'm going back to the phone lines. He better not fall in love with no white girl in that movie. I'm telling you right now, that movie better not be about no interracial love affair. I hope it ain't. I hope it ain't. I ain't seen no white folks. I think it's all black, right? I think the movie all black. Ain't everybody in it black? I think it's pure black. I think it is. Does anybody know? I think it is. I hope it is.
This is a call for special independent.
Peace and love, black family. You live with Dr. Umar Johnson. Who am I talking to?
Aisha.
Sister Aisha. Where you calling from, gorgeous?
Tacoma, Washington.
Tacoma, Washington. I'll probably be back up in Seattle, maybe Black History Month, but definitely Oakland. I know that's a little ways from you though, but still West Side. But what's your question or comment, beautiful?
Last time you were on Instagram,
Your phone breaking up. Your phone breaking up just a little bit. Are you on speaker? Maybe if you take me off that speaker.
No, can you hear me now?
Yeah, you're a little better now. Go right ahead.
Okay, but as far as us needing our own system, do you think we need a system similar to what the Native Americans have, and that they have their own schools and they have their own, basically their own system that they govern? Do you think we need a system similar to what they have?
I would say we need our own system. I'm not necessarily going to say similar to them because our needs are different from theirs. And although the Native Americans have been able to empower themselves through the casino situation, one thing I notice is that the United States government, see, here's the one thing we got to understand. And this is why the whole indigenous movement, this is one of the weaknesses of the indigenous movement, although I respect it totally. The Native Americans don't really own the land that they're on. See, they own the reserve, but they don't own the land. It's just like when you own your house, but you can't really own the land on that house. Nobody owns land in America. I want to say that again. Nobody owns land in America. Is a bank. It's a bank. So even when you buy land, they really only leased it to you. You don't really own it. That's why they had the situation with the Native American Reserve a couple months ago when they got a nuclear pipeline. I think it's a nuclear pipeline that they're building on the reserve. So if this land is owned by the Native Americans, how can you just come on it and tell them we're going to build a reserve even without your permission? Because it ain't yours. See, here's where the Garveyite differs from everywhere else. Everyone else. We view everything through the lens of power, not law, power. So for us, the white man give you some land and say, here you go, black folks. This is for y'all. Y'all can have your own black nation. Guess what? Whenever they decide that they want the land back, guess what they're going to do? They're going to take it. There's no law, no treaty, no nationality clause that's going to stop your oppressor from getting rid of you if getting rid of you helps them achieve their agenda. That's why I can't get behind the sovereignty movement, because the sovereignty movement is about paperwork. Power don't care about paperwork. Power created the paperwork. And that's the issue I have with that. And guess what? If you get too strong, Tulsa, Oklahoma told you what happens when you get too strong. Wilmington, North Carolina showed you what happens when you get too. Rosewood, Florida Charleston, South Carolina shows you what happened when you get too strong. We gonna come in and bomb you back into dependence on the system. So then the question becomes, okay, Doc, what is the solution? I'm gonna go back to it. You either leave America or you build a political economic relationship with the independent African states so they can protect you while you're in America. Now, the problem with the independent African states is the only one with the leader who was outspoken just got deposed day before yesterday by the FBI and the CIA. So some of us gonna have to go back home and build up one of those states. See, we all need each other. Africa need us. We need Africa. The blacks in England need the Caribbean. Blacks in the Caribbean need Central South America. The black countries in Central and South America need Black America. They need Australia. We need the blacks in Asia. They need the blacks in Europe. We need each other. The problem is nobody's taking the initiative to be the first one to challenge the power structure. Nobody wants to be Nat Turner, but everybody want to celebrate Nat Turner. Nobody wants to be Nat Turner, but everybody wants to celebrate Nat Turner. You see, somebody, and I'm not saying bloodshed. I'm saying somebody has to take the initiative to challenge the system in such a way that it can cost you everything that you got. Malcolm did it. King did it. Medgar did it. Huey did it. Nat Turner did it. Gabriel Prosser did it. Denmark Vesey did it. Shaka Kasensa Kakona Zulu did it. Queen Nzinga did it. Yaa Ashantiwa did it. Nanny of the Maroons did it. Frederick Douglass did it. Harriet Tubman did it. Sojourner Truth did it. Who in our generation is going to stand up and say, I know this first shot might not work, but it's going to give enough motivation to my people that I'm going to have to sacrifice so the next generation could be free. That's a hell of a something. That's a hell of a something to say, I'm not going to see this freedom, but I'm willing to offer myself as a sacrifice so my children will see it. What were you going to say, love?
Okay, so when slavery was abolished here, I can't remember if it was before slavery was abolished or right after, Liberia was established for free blacks in Africa. Why do you think there wasn't a big movement of people to go back there? It seemed like only
Say that. Okay, you said why there was or wasn't a big move. Brother Jerron Martin, you're being blocked for disrespecting Nat Turner. Don't disrespect no ancestors on my feed. But you're saying why wasn't there a big movement to return back?
Yes, I feel like
there was. There was a very big movement. There was a very big movement to go back to Africa during slavery and at the end of slavery, but they don't tell you this. In fact, guess what's going on right now? Guess what's going on right now? They're calling the Black American repatriation campaign to Africa the second Great Migration. They're saying that black people are moving back to Africa right now. I'm speaking now. Black people are moving back to Africa now in numbers that are almost as great as when we left the South for the North during the Great Migration. We are going home. A lot of us are going home. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I didn't have two daughters and my mother, I would be going home too. If I didn't have no kids, I know this live feed would be taking place from Africa right now. I don't know what country, but I know this live feed will be taking place from Africa right now. I know that for a fact. I know that for a fact.
So are there any specific countries in Africa that you suggest people into for moving back?
I'm going to be honest with you. It all depends on what you're looking to do in Africa. It all depends what you're looking to do in Africa. Agriculture is more suited for certain countries. You're a nurse and you want to help out in the nursing field. You want to start your own clinic, more suited to other countries. So, for example, if you're into nursing, you probably want to go to one of the more underdeveloped countries where they really need that, okay? Because if you go to a South Africa that's extremely developed, sure, you can do some nursing, but they have that medical infrastructure already. If you want to make a strong impact, you might want to go to one of the more underdeveloped countries. If you want to get into agriculture, you want to go to a country that's more dependent on agriculture for its economy than anything else. If you want to get into technology, the internet, technological design, you want to go look at a country that is a couple steps behind the rest of the digital age, but has enough money where the government would be willing to invest in something like that. Africa is very diverse. Africa is extremely diverse. You can go from one country to the next country and it's like a totally different world. So you want to do your research. And that's one of the things we're going to be doing with the Repatriation Task Force, which I've been kind of slow on. But once we start the Team Pan-African Government, we're definitely going to pick up that banner of the Repatriation Task Force. Nothing I introduced do I forget about. We're still going to make that happen. In 6 months in Africa, we're going to make that happen.
Okay, thanks for answering my question.
No problem, love. Have a good one. All right. Brothers and sisters, the Prince of Pan-Africanism is hungry. It's 9 o'clock. I haven't eaten all day. I've been fasting to bring y'all the information. And I want to say thank you to all of you tuning in. Long Beach tomorrow. Sanford, Florida next Friday. Queens, New York, December 3rd. Chicago, December 26th. Atlanta, December 28th. Houston, December 30th. Detroit, New Year's Day. Please donate. GoFundMe.com/Dr. Umar. Please donate. Mail your checks. FDMG Academy, P.O. Box 6872, Philadelphia, PA. I'm going to get me something to eat. LA, I'm coming. I'm about to jump in the whip. LA, I'm coming. Let me know what's popping tonight. I'm going out on the town. Then I'm going to get some sleep and get ready for tomorrow's keynote for California State University Long Beach Black Student Union 38th Annual Black Consciousness Conference from 11 to 11, Dr. Umar at 7. Tomorrow from 11 to 11, Dr. Umar at 7. If you need the Eventbrite link for your tickets, if you need the flyer, hit me up. 215-989-9858, 215-989-9858, 8444 Dr. Umar, 8444 Dr. Umar. Pan-Africanism of Parish, brothers and sisters. It is unify or die. God bless you. Instagram. Wait, I got to get one more Tupac in. One more Pac and I'm going to sign out. California, no doubt about it. California, no doubt about it. In the city of LA, in the city, in the city, keep it rocking. Keep it rocking, shake, shake it, baby, shake, shake it, shake, shake it, baby, shake, shake it, baby, shake, shake it, baby, shake it, baby, shake, shake it, baby, shake it, baby. Out of the rail, fresh out of jail, California dreaming. Soon as I step on the scene, I'm hearing who's screaming. Only